Hi, everyone, and welcome back. We're continuing our conversation around the ESE Parent Survey and why your voice matters.
Absolutely, Kathy. And in this segment, we are focusing on the K through 12 indicators. Kind of similar what we did earlier with the pre-Ks. We are going to be going through some of the areas of success, and also we're going to be highlighting one or two of those areas that could use some more support, looking back on the data from 2023 to 2024.
And this is really where we start to see how families are experiencing the system as their child moves through elementary school, middle school, on up to high school.
Yes, and this educational transition is very important. So I'm excited for this section. And Kathy, just like I just mentioned, right, that this educational transition is such an important, critical time. Students are developing academically, socially, and also emotionally. And families, the parents, are also navigating along the way, right?
Absolutely. And this is when IEPs become more detailed. Communication becomes even more important, and families are really partnering with schools to support their child's growth.
Absolutely. So when families take the survey during these years, they are really providing insight, information into what this experience really looked like day to day, year to year, right? All right, so let's start with one of those reported indicators that shows areas of success. And this one is written information is understandable.
This is a big one. Schools send home a lot of information, reports and notices, IEP documents, updates.
Yeah, and if this information is not clear, it can be very difficult for families to stay informed and involved. Just like we talked
So when
earlier,
sorry,
yeah,
I didn't mean to interrupt, but when families, just like in the last one with written information, it has to be understandable.
Yeah.
So when families are saying that written information is understandable, that tells us that communication is definitely improving.
Absolutely. And, this is so important for families to share this information because it means that schools are making an effort to use clear language. They are making an effort to avoid unnecessary jargon. Our acronym list, so they're very clear, and they're making sure that families can follow along.
And then when families understand what's being shared, then they can participate more confidently in their child's education, right?
For sure, yeah.
Okay, so the next area of success is IEP explains how progress towards goals will be measured.
Yes, and this is really important because the IEP is the roadmap for the student.
Exactly. And it's not just about setting goals, it's about understanding how progress will be tracked.
Mm-hmm. And when families know how progress is being measured, they can better understand whether their child is moving forward or not.
It also helps families ask meaningful questions. So they can say, okay, I see the goal, but how are we tracking this? And what does progress look like?
Yeah. So seeing this as a success tells us that IEPs are becoming more transparent and more useful for families. All right, so just like we did with the pre-K, we are going to highlight a third area of success, and this one is teachers are available to speak with parents.
Yep, and just like in the one with pre-K, this one really speaks to those relationships.
Yeah, because end of the day, collaborative communication between teachers and parents is key. It's important.
And so when teachers are available, it means parents can ask
Yeah.
questions, share
Yeah.
their concerns, and stay connected.
Yeah, and they build trust, right? Because families, they're going to be feeling like they're part of the team, and not just like you're outsider, you're looking from outside in, right?
So this is a really encouraging sign that communication lines are open and accessible.
Yeah. All right. So the same that we did with the successes, the survey also highlights areas where families indicated that they may need some more support.
This is just as important because it shows us where we can grow and improve as well.
Yeah, for sure. So what's the first area, Kathy?
Information on agencies assisting with transition from school.
Yeah, so this often comes as students get older, right? Especially as they approach high school and beyond. Transition starts at the age of 12, is when we start planning. And then we talk about a TIEP. We're going to have a segment after this that's going to highlight more about transition. It's going to be from Project 10 resources, so stay tuned for that.
Families are thinking about what comes next: employment, college, independent living, and they need guidance.
Yeah. And Kathy, what you just said, employment, college, independent living, those are the three cornerstones of IDEA, right? IDEA is the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act that protect children with disabilities in public school. And that's what we are preparing students for, specifically students with disabilities. And
And
go ahead, Kathy.
And there are agencies that can help with that transition, but families need clear information about them.
Mm-hmm.
So this feedback tells us that families want more awareness and better access to those resources.
Yeah. So it's about making sure no one feels unprepared for what comes after. So again, stay tuned to our next session where we are going to talk about all those agencies that support students with disabilities. All right, so the next area of need is parent training opportunities.
This is an important one because parents want to learn. They want tools and strategies and information to support their child. I know when I was first starting in the ESE process with my son, I was so hungry for information.
Yeah, and absolutely right, Kathy, because training can cover so many areas, from understanding IEPs, navigating services, and also supporting learning at home.
Yeah, that helps us as parents feel more confident.
Yeah,
for sure.
So, yeah, absolutely. So, with this feedback that we got from parents from the 23-24 result, we really see that there is a call to expand opportunities for parents to learn and to grow alongside children. Remember that when you are in the IEP meeting, you can ask for other people to be there, agencies that you may be working with that can be there to support you and your child.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
Should I go through the third area now?
Yeah, go ahead, Kathy.
So special assistance to support participation and accommodations.
And this speaks directly to inclusion and access. Very important, right?
Families want to make sure their child can, fully participate in school activities with the right supports in place, of course.
Yeah, and that could mean accommodations in the classroom, during activities, or additional services.
And we know that when these supports are in place, students can engage more fully and be more successful.
Yeah. So what this information is telling us is that the need to strengthen those support and ensure they are consistently available. So it is needed. So there is work to do in this area.
So, Soren, when we look at both the successes and the areas of need, we see a clear picture forming here, don't we?
Yeah, we do. On one hand, we can see that communication is improving, which is really good, right? Written information, it is understandable, teachers are available, and the IEP seems to be clearer for parents.
And on the other hand, families are asking for more support in key areas like transition planning, training, and accommodations. And when I say transition planning, that's that post-secondary planning.
Yeah. Thank you for that clarification, Kathy. And that is exactly what the survey is designed to do. See that it highlights both what is working and what we can do better. So it is really important to fill the survey.
So again, if you're listening and wondering whether your input really matters or makes a difference, the answer is
yes.
Yes.
We are going to sound like a broken record at the end of the day, but yes, please fill those survey, because these results come directly from you, from the parent, taking your time to fill it out and share your experience with us. Not with us.
And that feedback is what drives improvement, planning, and new initiatives.
Yes, so every single response adds to the bigger picture, right? All right, so before we close up this segment, we are going to do just like we did earlier. We are going to share with you. Let me make it a little bit bigger. All right. So here we see, this is the report, the state report for K to 12. You can see it right here, 24-25. And then just like previously, we can see here, all the district, the ESE members, the number of survey, the rate, the response rate. And then we have some more numbers there.
You know what I'm sure our viewers are noticing is that the K through 12 percentages are lower than pre-K.
Mm-hmm.
And pre-K responses have consistently always been higher.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's get those numbers up, K through 12.
Yes. We should. We need to be like above 80, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So here is where we can see also the indicators, individual indicators. Which one now we highlighted, Kathy?
The written information.
Okay.
So there it is, 82%.
Okay. And then let's look for one, and then here you can see they have, it looks a little bit different, the satisfaction score, right? The total respondent there. And then let's look for the one that we touched on the last, the transition planning information, right?
That might be towards the end.
Let's see. Resources right here.
There it is.
Okay. So we definitely can do better in this area on how to navigate IEP meetings and how to interpret the IEP. So we can definitely do better on that. And how we can help them, right, Kathy, here at FND?
Sure can.
Yeah.
We've got lots of resources. We have so many one-pagers, and there's whole sections on transition resources.
Yeah, and if you are struggling to interpret the IEP and struggling how to navigate that IEP meeting, procedure safeguard, we can do one-on-one calls. We can jump on a Zoom meeting. We can do a phone call. It's whatever's convenient, and we can go through the process with you.
We can help you figure out where that breakdown might have happened and get you back to that collaborative relationship with your child's school.
Yeah, because that's the goal, to have collaborative collaboration between parents, teachers, and the school district.
So let's quickly recap the key points from this session.
Yes. So, all right. So, reported area of success, we mentioned 3. Those where the written information is understandable. The second one was IEP explains how progress towards goal will be measured. And the third area of success was teachers are available to speak with parents.
And reported areas of need is that information on agency assisting with transition from school, parent training opportunities, and special assistance to support participation and accommodations.
Yeah. And all this comes from you, from the parent. Parent like you and me, Kathy, and everybody that's joining us today.
So if you received the survey, take a few minutes to complete it.
And remember that your voice helps to shape the future of ESE services in Florida.
Thanks you for being with us for the session.
We will see you in the next one.